Grant Mercer built his entire life on 3 rules. Trust no one. Keep your heart out of business. Never ever fall in love. He had learned those rules the hard way. A broken engagement that made headlines, a betrayal that cost him millions, and a childhood full of promises adults never kept. So Grant rose, alone and relentless, building the Mercer Holdings empire from grit and sleepless nights. People respected him, feared him, but no one got close to him. And that was exactly how he liked it. Until the morning Alara Quinn walked into his office. Grant didn't know she was coming. He didn't do walk-ins. His assistant knew better. No surprises, no unvetted appointments, no strangers crossing the threshold of the glass-walled corner office that overlooked the entire city. Yet somehow, when he looked up from his laptop, there she was. A woman with soft brown hair pulled into a loose, hurried twist, a toddler balanced on her hip, and exhaustion written beneath her eyes. Her clothes were clean but worn, her shoes scuffed, and her free hand clutched a stack of papers she seemed terrified to let go of. And she was breathtaking, not in the polished, rehearsed way he saw at fundraisers, not in the dramatic, curated perfection of the women who tried to impress him. Alara was real. Her beauty wasn't loud, it was the kind that slipped quietly into a room and made everything else fade. Grant stared before he caught himself. He stood abruptly, irritation spiking not at her, but at the breach of his routine. "Who let you past security?" he demanded. Alara startled, tightening her hold on the little girl in her arms. "I'm so sorry. They tried to stop me, but I begged until someone took pity. I needed to speak with you." Her voice cracked on the last word. Grant exhaled slowly, pinching the bridge of his nose. "This is a corporate headquarters, not a walk-in support desk." "I know," she whispered, "but I didn't know where else to go." Something in her tone, fragile and brimming with fear, made him pause. The child on her hip tucked her head against Alara's shoulder with a soft whimper. Alara ran a soothing hand down her daughter's back, whispering a calming hum that somehow reached him too. Grant's jaw tightened. "Sit," he said more gently than he intended. "Both of you." Alara hesitated before lowering herself into the chair, settling her daughter, who couldn't have been older than 3, onto her lap. The little girl looked around his towering office with wide, curious eyes. Grant returned to his seat, folding his hands. "What's your name?" "Alara Quinn," she swallowed. "And this is my daughter, Miri." Miri smiled shyly at him, holding out a small stuffed fox as if offering peace. Grant blinked. No one offered him stuffed animals, ever. He cleared his throat. "Why are you here, Ms. Quinn?" She placed the stack of papers on his desk with trembling hands. I applied for a position in your accounting department a month ago. Twice, actually. I didn't hear back." He frowned. "Human Resources handles hiring, not me." Her eyes shimmered, but she held steady. "I know, but I'm out of time." Grant said nothing, allowing her the space to continue. "My landlord gave me until Friday to pay the balance or leave. I have no childcare, no savings, and no family left. I can't afford to wait another month just to be ignored." Her breath hitched. "I'm not asking for charity, I'm asking for a chance to work." Grant's gaze drifted to the paperwork resume, certifications, a letter of recommendation, even validation of completed finance courses. She was qualified, overqualified actually, more qualified than half the applicants he'd interviewed in the past year. Why had HR dismissed her? Because she had a child? Because she wasn't wrapped in tailored polish? Grant's jaw clenched. "How long have you been looking for work?" he asked. 8 months, she whispered. "That long?" "I left my last job when my daughter got sick. They didn't like that I couldn't work overtime anymore." Grant felt a sharp sting of disgust at the thought of employers punishing a mother for caregiving. He leaned back, studying her carefully. She wasn't lying, he could tell. He was an expert at reading motives, and Alara was all transparency and trembling hope. Still, he forced himself to stay grounded. "You stormed into a billionaire's office asking for a job. Do you realize how risky that is?" "Yes," she said softly, "but I'll take any risk for my daughter." Her arms tightened around the little girl, who curled into her chest with trust so pure it created a hollow ache in Grant's ribs. He looked at them, this exhausted mother, this brave child, and something inside him shifted, cracking open in a place he had sealed for years. Grant Mercer, unshakable in business, suddenly felt off balance. He cleared his throat. "Give me a moment." He picked up her resume and skimmed, his brows lifting, as he took in her academic notes, her former supervisor's praise, and the consistent thread of competence running across the pages. He closed the file. "Ms. Quinn, Alara." Her name felt different, spoken gently. "You didn't need to barge into my office to get noticed." She blinked, startled. "I didn't?" "No," he said, leaning forward. "Because you should have been hired the moment your application was reviewed." Her breath caught. "Someone in HR made a mistake," he continued. "And I don't tolerate mistakes." Alara's eyes filled before she could stop them. "Does that mean—" "It means," he said quietly, "you're hired." Her lips parted in disbelief. "I what? Hired? Just like that?" "Yes, starting immediately." She covered her mouth, shoulders shaking with silent relief. But Grant wasn't finished. "You'll be paid at senior rates," he added. "Your hours will be flexible while you settle." And your daughter, Alara, stiffened, fear flickering. "Is welcome here any time," he finished gently. "No judgment." A soft cry escaped her, half gratitude, half desperation. "Mr. Mercer, I don't know how to thank you." Grant's voice dropped, unexpectedly warm. "You don't need to thank me." And then, for the first time in 10 years, Grant Mercer felt something unfamiliar warming his chest, something dangerous, something like hope. Grant Mercer wasn't used to silence meaning anything. In boardrooms, silence was pressure. In negotiations, it was strategy. But in this moment, as Alara sat across from him, choking back tears, while her daughter played with the edge of his desk, silence meant something else entirely. It meant trust fragile, hesitant, but real. He didn't dare move, afraid even a small shift would break the moment. Finally, Alara wiped her cheeks with the back of her hand. "I don't understand why you're doing this." Grant's jaw loosened, his voice low. "Because people should help when they can. Because you deserve a chance. And because your daughter deserves a mother who isn't punished for choosing her." A tiny sound escaped her, part laugh, part sob. "Most people don't see it that way." "I'm not most people," Grant said quietly. Alara looked at him, then really looked at him. Not like a billionaire, not like a headline, just a man sitting at a desk trying awkwardly to be gentle. "Still," she whispered, "you don't know me." "Maybe not," he murmured, "but I'd like to." Her breath hitched. Grant immediately shifted his gaze, suddenly self-conscious. What was he doing? He didn't flirt, he didn't connect, he didn't even smile unless absolutely necessary. Yet here he was, offering warmth to a woman who'd burst into his office 30 minutes ago. He needed control, distance. But when his eyes drifted to little Miri, now drawing invisible pictures on the glass wall with her tiny fingers, something inside him unraveled. She was innocent. She was trusting. She was everything his own childhood never had. Elara followed his gaze. She likes windows, she said, a little embarrassed. She thinks every tall building is a castle for the sky. Grant's lips curved barely, but real. She has imagination. She's the only thing that's kept me going, Elara admitted softly. I keep thinking that if I just hold on a little longer, something good will happen. Just once. Her voice broke. Grant's chest tightened. Without thinking, he stood and walked around the desk. Elara stiffened, heart pounding, but he stopped a respectful distance away and crouched slightly, leveling himself with her. Something good did happen, he said. You walked in. Elara inhaled sharply. Grant rubbed the back of his neck, suddenly unsure. I mean, professionally, for the company. He cleared his throat. Not anything else. She smiled for the first time, small, soft, exhausted but beautiful. Thank you, she whispered. He nodded, relieved and unsettled at the same time. You'll start Monday. HR will correct the paperwork. I'll speak with them personally. His voice hardened slightly. They won't overlook you again. Elara exhaled, releasing weeks of pent-up fear. I still can't believe this is real. Grant hesitated before offering his hand, not for a handshake, but to help her stand. She took it. Warm, small, trusting. Something inside him shifted again, dangerously close to feeling. Miss Quinn, he said quietly, you don't have to fight alone anymore. Her eyes glistened. You have no idea what those words mean to someone like me. Maybe I do, he murmured. Before she could ask what he meant, Miri toddled over, tugged lightly at Grant's sleeve, and held up her stuffed fox for him again, this time demanding he take it. Grant blinked, stunned. Elara laughed softly. She doesn't share that toy with anyone. Grant accepted the fox with both hands, as if receiving something sacred. Then, he said, voice unexpectedly thick, I'll take care of it. Elara looked at him, really looked, and something warm bloomed behind her eyes. Grant felt it too. Something unplanned, unwanted, undeniably alive. Mr. Mercer? Elara said softly. Yes. Maybe this isn't just a job. He held her gaze. For the first time in 10 years, Grant didn't run from the meaning behind someone's words. Maybe it isn't, he said,